Hello, fellow builders, and welcome back to the bench. Mediocre Miler here, and we're on part 2 of our Batman vinyl kit. When last we left, we were waiting for the resin in the boots to cure and the resin in the upper body to cure. And I tell you what, just to make sure it was fully cured, I wanted to wait a day. It was a long day because I so wanted to, next step. But I couldn't. I went on ahead and glued the boots onto the rest of the lower half of the body. And my concern of the legs being the cattywampus and it not being flat to the ground was correct. And it was actually a really simple problem to fix. This is where the threaded inserts came in handy. And the main reason I put them in there. Once I mounted it to this piece of pegboard, use what you got, I heated up just the one leg so it would get soft. And once I got it soft enough, all I had to do was just set it aside and let it cool down in place, allowing the plastic to reshape itself to its new position and locking it in. Much like the arms, I cut holes in the bottom of the thighs. That way, once the boots were glued on and I added the plaster, it would go all the way in through into the boots, locking them into one solid area. Although I thought I had enough plaster, I didn't. So I have to make a real quick small batch of plaster. I'll tap the end of the pegboard to let the plaster level out, and then all we have to do now is wait. And wait we did. In the meantime, we did a couple other things, like put together a couple of ornaments to put on the Christmas tree, like the Darth Vader. Did you know that the Bondi 72nd scale model kits were great as Christmas ornaments? See? Look at that. Well, we'll show you later. Anywho, so Batman's bottom half was cured with the armature wires sticking out of it. We set the upper torso upside down. We filled it with resin, and then with those armature pieces just kind of twisted down, we set them on there to dry. And now he's one solid piece. But will he stand on his own? Yes. Yes, he will. Mission accomplished. So now, we just got to get some paint on him. Before I set the upper torso down, I did a little bit of sanding and line filling with between the body and the shoulder. It was almost pointless because that's going to be covered up by the cape. But still, let's get some paint on this guy and see where we are from there. I'm so excited. Thing you always have to remember is pick up your model, look at it from a different angle. Because if I did, I was spraying down. No primer on, so I had to hold them upside down and spray up that direction. The other thing I didn't mention was I went through all the trouble of putting the threaded inserts in the bottom of his feet. And on this one, as I was removing the screw broke off. But the resin that I put in there was strong enough to where I could drill a hole and just run a wood screw through there. So in theory, I probably could have just done that with both of them. Maybe I overthought it. It was an interesting exercise. Let's just call it that. So anyway, let's get some more paint on here. two colors. I got semi-gloss black, then I got a metallic black, because I was thinking maybe the boots and the chest armor would be metallic. But then I sprayed it on there, and it looks a little bit too metallic-y for body armor, at least for Batman. But I might just go ahead and use it on the Batmobile. So we'll just sit that aside. For right now, I'm going semi-gloss black. One more thing, I want to tape off the fleshy parts of his face. I know, most people's faces are fleshy. I caught that. How about that? He's like, what did you say, Michael Keaton Batman? I'm Batman. And again, somebody forgot to turn on their mic. So we're going to do this voiceover way. Let's see how we did. My rule was, when you think you have enough masking on there, mask some more. So I really overdid it with the masking on this time, and it actually worked pretty good. The gold stayed right on the belt where I wanted it to, and I'm only going to have to do some slight touching up here and there. Keeping in mind, the back end of the model is going to be covered by the cape, but just a couple of the pieces, like the belt buckle, are going to require some touching up with the gold paint. I decided to try the metallic black on the boots and the forearms. So let's tape it up again, and then once we're getting done with that, we'll see how it all comes out. Adding the metallic black to the boots and the forearms, in my opinion, worked out in my favor. There's so much black there, the semi-gloss black. Everything just kind of blends together, and just having that it's just a slight subtle difference in the two colors, I think makes the difference. I went on ahead and painted the logo on the chest and painted his mouth and chin, and actually the eyes, since it was all that was really tedious work. And nobody wanted to see me hunched over. How exciting is that? That's not. But what do we end up with? We got. So you, if you look real close, let's go. There you go. I lucked out with the eyes. I always have trouble with eyes. Trying to make sure that they're both looking the same direction. I think they came out pretty well. Through the camera, I'm not sure how well you can tell whether there's a difference, but I can see these are a little bit more metallic and the boots are a little bit more there's a subtle difference in that, and that's what we're going for. Also, on the sides of the boots, there are these little studs on both sides, and then on the palms of his hands. So we just took a little bit of silver and a paintbrush and dotted the little studs on the palms. What are we left with? We're left with the cape. I think I shot the cape last night before I went to bed with a flat black. Because there again, another point of the subtle differences. I want the cape to be a flat black, everything else to be a semi-gloss. And what is that? That yellow paint? That doesn't surprise me. Okay. I'll have to get my brush out and brush over that. It was really difficult to try and get in there around his arm. But I don't regret. I don't regret the steps that I went through to get to this point, because I feel like all in all, it's a better model now than it was. I kind of wish I could go back in time to see the methods I used on the first one to see how different they are. But where we are here is we need to add the cape and glue it on. And this one is done. So let's look at the cape. So you would think that we're down to like the final wire and we could just be done and yay, but no. I'm having no end of problems with this doggone cape. Because I want the cape to be flat. I want it to be dull, flat, just as flat as you can get. But there's still a sheen to it. I mean, so I'm already using a flat black paint. That's not working. So I tried to use a matte clear coat. That's not working. The next thing I'm going to try, I went and picked up this clear acrylic coating matte. I even tried Plasti-Dip. Nothing. Still shiny. So this is the next step. Supposedly this stuff dries in 15-20 minutes. And this will tell me whether or not it's going to do what I want it to do. After that, I don't know what I'm going to do. One step at a time. One step at a time. Now, just let that dry.
2 hours later.
Not just a few hours, but a couple of different attempts later. I tried coating this 2 or 3 different times because it dried so quickly, and I could never get. This is better. It's better than it was. It's just not as flat as I would like it. And then I thought, well, let's try it on a different material to see if it's the material and not the paint. And sure enough, I tried it on. This is the bottom part of the Batmobile, and it's flat. It's the flat that I'm looking for. So we're just not going to worry about it. We're going to get the cape fit and call it a day. So the nice thing about vinyl, this vinyl is really stiff, right? And I want to be able to put it on. You see, those arches need to go down there. It just won't go down there. So the nice thing about vinyl is you don't force it, you heat it. So, all right. There you go. Look at that. Nice and pliable. Just fit it where we want it. And I don't think I'm even going to glue it. I think I'm just going to let it form fit itself and let it sit there for a couple of days and see if it stays. And if it stays, I'm not going to mess with it anymore. But if it doesn't, then I'll have to come in and glue it. But I don't think I'm going to have to. I really don't. We're going to let that cool down. You can see where they really wanted it to go. That arch there should have been there. That one is kind of there. If I really wanted to try and even if I tried to force it, it's not gonna go the way I want it. But I think it's fine. So let's get some good shots of it so you can say what you think about it. Some might say I have a flair for the dramatic there. Maybe the cinematic Danny Elfman music on top of the vinyl kit was a bit much. But boy, I liked it. I really liked it a lot. Oh man, I love that kit. I love that kit. And as I was building it, I'm always trying to figure out, well, where's it going to go? And, I put the screws in the feet for a base that, I was going to possibly put it on a shelf one of the Billy Cubes or something. And I got the Batmobile, and I was maybe going to put that with it. And that shelf, that spot that I ended up being in, at least for the time being, was perfect. It was just like that. That's where it belongs. That's where it goes. Like that spot was missing something, and that's where it's going to live for right now. I do still need to make the spikes on the end of his gauntlets, which I am working on. I'm trying to form them in Fusion 360. So that's something I don't know how to do, and I'm learning how to do it. So that might take a little bit of time. I think I've got, for the most part, I got the grasp of how to get it done. It's getting the size, and then I'm going to have to do some test prints to make sure that I got my size right or whatever. But other than that, I'm happy with the outcome. I'm on a bit of a bat kick, because if you're paying attention on the table behind the Batman as you sweep by, there's a part of a Batmobile there, and the '89 Batmobile was hanging on the wall as I was waiting for the paint to dry. Different things were being done. That's part of the '89 Batmobile. I'm just getting this stuff done. And I say I was on a Batman kick. Well, this showed up today. Won an eBay auction. So, let's take a gander. Uh-huh. Thanks for your purchase. That's always nice. Okay. Yes. Yes, we're going to continue our bat kick. And got this from eBay. And it is complete. And this one doesn't need a bat. So that's always a plus. So this is going to be in the near future. One of the coolest bat wings. All right. And as one build ends, another one begins. I don't think I'm going to work on the Batwing right away. I still feel it kind of needs to marinate, and I do have the Batmobile. I've got it primed. It's a very simple kit. All I got to do is pop the cockpit in there and pop the wheels on, and it's good to go. But that's what I'm working on. What are you working on? What are you building? Because you can build stuff too. It is the holiday season, so you're probably gonna not get a whole lot of time to build just now. But boy, right after Christmas, those gift cards are gonna begin. Somebody's got you something to build, and that's the time for that creativity to kick in. So have fun with the family this week. Enjoy your Christmas. Have a happy new year. I'm sure you'll still see me before the end of the year. But until then, have fun. Be safe. And go build something. Pew 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 pew.